Why is solo queue in Marvel Rivals so hard? Man, I wish I knew.
Why is climbing Marvel Rivals ranked solo
Congrats
so
on GM
hard?
though.
Looking back, on January 27th, I hit Diamond 3 for Season 1. And so
Damn.
now, over a month later, I finally hit Grandmaster 3.
Are you kidding
Wow,
me?
really?
It took me that long.
Oh, let's go! That's class!
That is quite long for GM.
But I've now done this completely solo. I have not
Mad
played
respect for
duo
your
queue
brother.
once or played
Same.
with a 3-stack or 4-stack at all. And playing
Mad
solo
respect.
has definitely made this much harder. Let me explain. Now, don't get me wrong. It is still 100% possible to hit Eternity playing all your matches solo. There are people out there that have proven this. However, usually these guys are like former pro Overwatch players or former pro FPS players in another game. I guess a popular example that some of you guys might know is Super TF. I believe he plays all his games or pretty much all his games completely solo, and he's still able to reach the highest rank. So it is possible.
That's
However,
crazy.
if you look at the top 500 players in this game and you go through their match history,
They're all stacked.
what will you find? You will find that about 80 to 90% of those players are playing in stacks or with another person.
Exactly. There's literally not a single reason why you shouldn't stack in this game. Like, there is not a single reason why you should solo queue if, you know, unless you're like me and you have no one to play with. So I'm kind of just forced to solo queue. But yeah, you shouldn't play alone. If you can play with others, you should always opt for that option. I mean, the matchmaking system is so garbage in this game. If you can negate some of its worst parts, you should definitely try to do so. Also, I don't know if he's going to talk about it, but if you go through all of the top 500 players, they are all support mains. They're all support or tank mains, because that's the easiest way to reach top 500. If you play support or tank as a main, you'll reach Eternity like in a few days. It's honestly that easy. As a DPS, it's practically impossible.
In fact,
Unless you're really good at the game.
Say that there is zero reason to play solo. If you want to climb, you have to play in a 4-stack. At least to get rank 1, you have to play in a 4-stack. Now, in my case, you may be surprised, I am not a former pro Overwatch player. And in pretty much most previous FPS games that I've played, I am pretty awful.
I am so sad.
Luckily, in this game, you don't have to entirely rely on having perfect aim. There are some characters, or in fact, a lot of characters that let you get away with this.
Indeed. Well, it's... Okay, okay, look, here's the thing, man. He's partially correct here. Yeah, definitely. He showed, like, Rocket Raccoon, Scarlet, right, Cloak and Dagger. But here's the thing, no pun intended. Even as Scarlet, there's so much you can do. There's, like, this top 500 player called Borderline, which is #1 Scarlet Witch player in the world. Look at him play Scarlet, and look at, like, your average person play Scarlet. Completely different thing. Like, you're not gonna get the same results if you're playing average on Scarlet. Even on characters as easy and mind-numbing as Scarlet Witch, you need to know what you're doing. So it's not entirely correct to say that you can't get away with stuff. At higher ranks, even with the smallest mistake, you're gonna get punished. Like, that's just... It is what it is, man. Like, it is what it is. You really need to know what you're doing.
Which is why you've seen that I have pretty much gravitated to playing tank. So I know that I'm not the greatest player yet. But I know for
that's
sure,
not
and
true.
I am...
Dude, Vanguard is like the most difficult role out there. I don't know who told you like this is an easy role, but Vanguard is literally the hardest role ever. Well, the hardest role ever will always be DPS because some certain characters exist and I guess they like kind of muddle the pool of difficulty. But I think generally speaking, Vanguard is like the hardest role to play. You really need to know what you're doing, how to survive, how to position yourself, how to take care of enemies and allies, you know, to protect your allies. Like, the difference between a bad Groot or a good Groot is literally night and day difference. I mean, bad Groot will literally lose you the game on the spot, and a good Groot will just roll your opponent. So, I don't think it's like... true statement there. I don't agree with him.
That my climb would be so much easier if I just played with other players, even if they're similar rank to me. Playing with others would make this game so much easier to climb. And I could do that, but my mindset is, and this might be the League of Legends mindset, is if I do that, I now have a fraudulent rank, or a rank that is not my true rank. So when I see other content creators saying, I'm rank 1 this, or I hit this rank, then you look a little bit deeper into their match history and you find a few things, some interesting things. You find out that this guy who claims he's the rank 1 Spider-Man, why is he always playing with a Venom 1 trick?
Well, okay. So here's the thing. Again, it's partially true. So you need to realize how the matchmaking system works. So whenever you stack with another person, you're playing against other people that stack. Now, when you play solo, I believe the maximum amount you can go against is like a 3 stack or something. I don't know if that's true. I heard about it. I can't confirm it to you, but this is what I've heard. I don't know if it's true, but it feels true because I constantly solo queue and I played with pre-mades and against pre-made on my team and on the enemy team, obviously. And most part, it just match your stack. So if you're playing, let's say, with three people that stack together and you're a solo queue player, the enemy will get a solo queue player and a 3 stack. That's usually how it end up working, as far as I know from my experience. And I'm Celestial, by the way. So it's not entirely true, and also you do need to respect the fact that even professional players that play Spider-Man and they're playing with a one-trick Venom friend, sure, it boosts them, but believe me, like, they're still insanely good. Playing with another Venom on your team is not gonna cover for it. Also, they're gonna be against pre-made as well, so it doesn't really matter. It kind of like equalize. So I don't completely agree with him. But yes, playing with a friend will obviously make things easier, but not for the reason that he said here. The reason is actually the matchmaking system is really bad right now. And if you're playing with friends, you're just gonna mitigate some of the worst allies you're ever gonna get in your entire life. So if you're playing with a friend, it's like -1 bad player on your team, which is always good, right?
Does that truly make you the rank 1 Spider-Man? I mean, technically, yes. But anyway, getting into the question, why is climbing Marvel Rivals solo so much harder? It is pretty simple, really. Playing solo means you will always have 5 other teammates on your team that is completely random. Unlike playing with others, this will now limit the randomness of your teammates. And this impact is even bigger in a game like Marvel Rivals. Why so? Well, this game doesn't have role queue. Now, don't get me wrong. I do not want role queue in this game. But
he saved
it
himself.
does mean if you're playing solo, there is a much higher chance that you will get 4 tank mains on your team, or 4 support mains on your team, or even worse, 6 DPS only players on your team. Secondly, we can take this even further because this game has team up benefits.
Yeah, also, on top of that, like having 5 random, is that this game, unlike other games, is heavily team fight oriented game. Like, this is a team play based game. Individual score do not matter. All that matter is team play. You can get like 30 kills in a game and still lose. And it happened to me multiple times. So individual score don't matter. All that matter is team play. And when you group up 5 random players together, you're just not gonna get the same level of communication that you'd have with your friend. So for example, if I play even with 1 more friend, I can go, like he said before, I can go Spidey, he can go Venom, and the 2 of us can absolutely roll the opponents if they lack communication, just because we're 2 people that play really good combo together and just roll their backlines. So yeah, communication is key and team play is everything. And when you get 5 randoms, it's just a very difficult thing to do.
No other ranked game really has these team-up synergies.
Especially on EU servers, by the way, which I'm currently playing on, and man, the communication is non-existent. Everyone is not even speaking English. Like, literally, nobody speaks English in Celestial. It sounds weird. It's true.
At least at this impact. It is much easier to climb the ranks if you're a Namor one trick and you duo with a Luna every single game. Or if you're a
well, you're gonna get target
one
banned,
trick and
so
you
that's
duo
not true.
with a Venom every single game. Or an Iron Man one trick and you duo with a Hulk every single game. Or a Star-Lord one trick and you duo with an Adam Warlock every single game, and so on. Playing solo, you often won't get these benefits. On top of this, playing with others doesn't give you a consequence, such as in other ranked games, if you play with others, you may earn less points, or if
Yeah,
you lose,
this is true.
lose more points than if you were playing solo. Now, I'm not sure if I should get into this, but I guess I should. There is this other conspiracy theory going
He's gonna
around
talk
that
about it.
Marvel-
He's gonna talk about the rigged matchmaking. By the way, the matchmaking isn't rigged. Like on basic definition, matchmaking is like rigged. That's just how the matchmaking works. And by the way, NetEase, the developers of this game, are not even hiding it. They openly said that they're using AI for the matchmaker. And yeah, the matchmaker, if you don't know, I'm just gonna like, it's been such a weird topic to talk about, but I feel like everyone knows about this by now, so I'm just gonna briefly talk about it. Basically, the way the matchmaking works is that they have AI that kind of analyzes your skills, and then it puts you on a team corresponding to your skills, and of course the enemy team is the same. Now, for example, if the AI recognizes you as a good player, it's not gonna put you in the same team with another good player. It's gonna put you with some people that are worse than you. It's gonna put on the enemy side some people that are worse than you, and of course they're not gonna shuffle you up, because then you might be like two really good players together on the same team, and you're just gonna roll like the opponents, which have more bad players on their team. So that's kind of how it works. Now, what it end up doing is there is an engagement system in the matchmaking ingrained inside the system. What does that mean? It basically means that they want to make the game as addictive as possible, so they intentionally give you a lot of games where you have the worst player imaginable, and I'm telling you, like, the most brainless people you've ever seen in your entire life. And on the enemy side, they put like professional players, which is insane. I literally played game where I was against 3 or 4 people that were previously top 500 in the past season, and I played with the worst allies you can ever see on your team, and you will ever see. Like, that is crazy. And that's how the matchmaking system works. The reason is they kind of want to give you a disadvantage. You can still win, but it's highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. And the reason it exists is because to make the game more addictive and stuff. So yeah, he's going to talk about that.
Rivals, they use player engagement optimized matchmaking. Now, I have no proof that this exists, but there is this
It exists, and they used it in previous game, and they're also super open about it. It's a really bad thing. I don't think it should exist in the game, by the way. I should have mentioned that, but it is what it is, man. Like, they want to make money. Like, I get that. I don't agree with it. I really wish they would change it, but I understand.
Going around, which is essentially matchmaking to keep you playing longer. So in other words, if you have lost a few games in a row, they will now put you in a
winner's
favorable matchmaking game where you now get an easy win, or vice versa.
100% true. 100% true. And I ranked down from Celestial to GM1 and ranked up 5 times by now in like a week. And by the way, today, before making this video, I ranked up to Celestial again. Just so you know. I went on a I believe it was like 5 lose streak yesterday. I quit playing, so my you know, like the matchmaking system will reset for me. I came today and I won 7 games in a row. Right now I'm on mid Celestial 1. I literally did not lose once. It's crazy. This system is insanely bad. It's insanely bad.
Mentioned that I have been very suspicious that when I start playing, I often go on a lose streak, which would then be followed by a win streak. And as far as I remember, it has never been the opposite way around. For example, I have never gone on a big win streak followed by a big lose streak on the same day. Now, there are days where it's just normal, I win, lose, and so on. But if there are streaks involved, it would always be a loss streak at the beginning, followed by a win streak towards the end of the day. It does add a little bit of suspicion. But what I'm saying is, if this does actually exist in the game, it's more likely to be amplified when you're playing solo. Because when you're playing with teammates, it obviously limits those variables or those algorithms.
It literally negates the entire system. That's why people 6-stack. That's why streamers 6-stack. It is what it is. Also, it lowers the chances significantly. So if you're stacking as 4, it's gonna take you... you know, forever to find a match, but eventually you'll find one, and it will be way more beneficial for you than just solo queue. Now, solo queue, the reason you know how you can tell that you're on loser's queue is if you're playing on peak hours and it takes you more than 1 minute to find a match. Even on Celestial, you're supposed to find a match in under 5 seconds because it's so fast and so many people are playing. If it takes you more than a minute to find a game, or I'd say even more than like 30 or 40 seconds, you know that you're on loser's queue. And I was 100% correct, like 100% correct every single time it happened to me, I lost. And every single time I found a match in under 6 seconds or under 10 seconds, I won. It's just that simple. It's rigged. Like, it is what it is, man. That's the system. That's how it works.
Algorithms that could impact your matchmaking. Now, finally, this is a little bit off topic, but I think in general, Marvel
I want to play the
Rivals
thing
rank system is terrible.
It's trash.
Because you can climb to Grandmaster with a negative win rate, which I don't think should be the case. Now, I get why they do this. Once again, it is to keep you playing because you're more likely to keep playing if your rank keeps going up. But I feel like it would be a lot better if it's just up until gold, you know, where everyone gets that free skin. So you can get to gold, you win
100%
more points
agree.
than you lose. But once you hit gold...
Well, to be fair, all the way up to gold, you have like Chrono Shield, like the system where if you lose games, eventually one game that you lose won't count. I think it's a really bad system again, but I kind of understand that they want to give people like the free skin, sure. So I can kind of respect that. But he's completely right about having a negative win rate and literally reaching Grandmaster. That's why people don't really respect Grandmaster players, and it's fair. And yeah, just when you reach Celestial, that's when the game starts, man. Like, that's when the game starts. That's where every win or lose is pretty much the same point. You're winning and losing the same point, so you have to keep a positive win rate to actually climb. And yeah, it is what it is, man. That's why we're grinding. That's why we keep on practicing and struggling.
This is when the real rank starts and you basically gain the same amount as you lose. So if that's the case, you have to have over a 50% win rate to climb. And I think this will make matchmaking a lot fairer. Now, I was hard stuck diamond for most of season 1, and that's because I had a 45% win rate.
Bruh.
When technically, I actually should be getting demoted to play against players of my rank or my skill level, but I was still in diamond. But now that I've hit Grandmaster, this is when the real rank starts, because I believe once you hit Grandmaster, the points you gain are the same amount as you lose. So for me to get to the next rank up, which I think is Celestial, I'm gonna...
But here's the thing, here's the difference between Grandmaster and Celestial. Because reaching to Grandmaster is so easy, the pool of people that play in Grandmaster is significantly worse because it's so easy to reach Grandmaster compared to Celestial. Once you reach that GM Celestial barrier, you start to notice that people are insanely better at this game. But I'm not gonna lie, some people on Celestial are the worst players that I've ever encountered in my life. I'm not even joking. GM was insanely bad, but Celestial, somehow people are... I'm talking about people that feeds and refuses to swap, and I constantly get them on my team, which is crazy. Not constantly like every single game, but you know what I'm talking about. Like every day you're gonna encounter a few of these people, and yeah, it's insane, dude. Like, it's straight up crazy. I'm talking about people that don't even know a single word in English. You try to speak with them, like, and they literally spam you with, you know, swear words in their language. You're like, bro, I don't get this too much, so, you know, can we just play together and win? And they're like, no, they just keep going, like, they don't care.
I have to win more than 50% of my games. Can I do it? I think I'm probably going to be hard stuck Grandmaster for the rest of my life. But in all seriousness, I think I'm actually starting to improve. The thing has come out, and I seem to be fairly decent with him. And so far this season, I've got exactly a 50% win rate. So if I can increase that to closer to 55%, then we're on our way to Celestial and beyond.
Wow, yeah, what a video. So I pretty much agree with him on most of the stuff that he was saying. Some stuff I slightly disagree, but for the most part, really great video. I'm gonna leave a link in the description so you guys can watch it yourself and give it a like, because this guy is pretty amazing. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to let me know what you think in the comments below. But that's all for now. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.